Hi everybody, as you're looking today, again we are discussing in next slide, okay, in the next lecture. As you're looking, but our topic is comparative development experience of India with its, okay. Here you will realize what about development of China country and about development of Pakistan country, okay, and comparing while comparing with two countries we will understand strategy of three countries. First of all, our countries, second Pakistan countries, third China countries. So strategy of these three countries, when we will now, then we can say, oh, this was a strategy of this country, this was a strategy of this country. So strategy is important, and through strategy we can develop in our study, you can say, in field of in our study, okay, in field study. When we make a strategy to study, then we can increase our knowledge through strategy, okay, we can increase our focus through strategy. So here strategy helps us, okay, helps us to development in something whatever we want. So similar, our India, you can say, and other country, you can say, other country makes a strategy for development of their nation, so that step by step their country can development, they can develop to their country, okay. So I think let's start. We should start. Okay. Comparative development experience of India with its. This is our topic. Development strategy of India, China, and Pakistan. Three countries. Okay. We are living in our country, but this will be important to understand our strategy of our country. Okay. It's our duty, it's our responsible. So don't think what our country, we know our country, to our country, but our context is strategy of our country, we will understand, we will try to know, okay. And whereas strategy of China country, strategy of Pakistan country, and I think this three country we took, why we have taken, why this will be similar in some places, in some aspects there will be similar strategy among three countries, okay, among three countries, between three countries, India, China, Pakistan, and details step by step, as I told you, we will discuss. So development, our topic, our context is development strategy of India, China, and Pakistan. This is our context, and we don't need to go out of a context, we don't need, okay, because when we will discuss within context, then we can increase the knowledge, deeply knowledge, okay, we can, and with focus, with concentration, we can understand about our context when we will not go out of context. India, China, and Pakistan have many similarities in their development strategy, which are these are, okay. This sentence, the first sentence is saying, your country, India, China, and Pakistan have have many similarities in development strategy. In development strategy. So first of all, India, Pakistan, and China have started towards, and so you can say month, yes, 1 month, not 1 month ago or after, okay, 1 year ago or after. This will be time. This will be duration to start to take decision what about strategy of their country. So India, China, Pakistan have started towards their development path at the same time, and we will also the same time. As we celebrate our independence Independence Day when 15 August, we normally know. And whereas 14 August, who celebrate Pakistan. Okay. So India and Pakistan became independent nation in 1947. This is the similarities or not? Yes, this is the similarities. Our India and our Pakistan, because these are twin, you can say. Mm, okay. So here, Pakistan got independent when in 1947. And if we talk about the date, then 14 August 1947. This is the date of independence of a Pakistan country. Whereas our country, same in this year, our India country got independence. But the date was different. Just after one day of date of Pakistan country. Pakistan independence of Pakistan. Okay. So date is 15 August 1947. 1947. This is our date of independence. Date to celebrate. No, date to get when we got independence. Okay, this was a date. Whereas our India became independent when in 1947. Also, Pakistan country became independent in 1947. But that was something you can say 10-year difference. 14 August 1947, Pakistan country became independent, and whereas 15 August our country became independent. Okay, in 1947. But year is the same. That's why we saw in first step what between three countries there will be similarities. Okay, there will be similarities. So in first step we saw what similarities in independent of nation. Whereas the peoples of Republic of China, and as you know, in China, if we talk, then in China there is what People's Republic. Okay, the People's Republic of China was established in 1949, and you can see something is a similarities. How after 2 years, I am right. I am wrong or not? I am right. Okay, am I right? I am right. After 2 years, China was established as a republic, the People's Republic. Okay, and today you can say date was not given here. So here my point is similarity is what after just 2 years, this China country was established as the People's Republic. So these are similarities. All three countries had started planning their development strategy in similar ways. Means you can say when India got independent, then leaders of India thought what we need to make a planning so that through this planning can development our to our country. Whereas Pakistan leaders of Pakistan thought what we needed to make a plan, and this will be regular from this plan, and our government of India, upcoming our government of Pakistan will work through this planning. Okay, something plan was made by leaders of India. Something plan was made by leaders of Pakistan. And after some time, according to need, there was a changed. You can say there was a changed. There is a change in planning according to the need of nation. So all three countries had started planning their development strategy in similar ways. So here you are understanding what a plan 5-year plans in our country. There was made 5-year plan. So aim of planning was what, to development their nation, to development for a nation. Okay, in planning there will be include about development of a nation. Okay, that's why this was made. Plan strategy was made. India announced its first 5-year plan in 1953. Just after independence of their nation, there was not made plan strategy of their nation. After taking decision, there was taken time when there would be announced on this time. Okay, so here as you're looking 1953, this is a date of planning. This is a date of a planning strategy of India country. 1953, our India leaders of India announced the first 5-year plan in 1953. Okay, and our India country got independence when 1947. So you can see difference time 1950. So six year after 6 year. Okay, after 6 year. So my point is, understanding point is here. Our 5-year plan had started after 6 year. 6 year of independence country, independence India. After 6 year, our 5-year plans, first 5-year plan announced by leaders of India in 1953. This was a date when our 5-year plan announced. Okay, announced 1953. This is date. And whereas to remember, the People's Republic was established in Republic of China was established in 1949 after just 2 years. And you can say on this day, I hope I don't remember clearly. After on this date, I hope I think maybe on this date our Republic Day were celebrated. Okay, was celebrated. Okay. So 1953, this was the date when our first 5-year plan was announced by leaders of India. Okay. And now I think our point will be what about planning, because in planning there will be involved our strategy of development of 3 countries. Pakistan is working on basis of 12th 5-year development plan, that is 2018, not 2016, 2018 to 2023. Pakistan is working on this 12th 5-year development. What is this 12th 5-year development plan? Now Pakistan is working for development, whereas China is working on the 14th 5-year plan, and that is 2021 to 2025 until March 2017. Okay. Let's see what's about India country. India has been following the 5-year plan based development model. 5-year plan. So here we can say India started from first 5-year plan, and India has been following our development model. But here there is a point to understand what 12th 5-year development plan. In this plan, 12th 5-year plan, there was included what development board to develop development strategy of their Pakistan country. In this plan, there was what added development. Okay, added development word, added development strategy. In this, you can see in 12th 5-year development plan, and as you are looking, plan is named what, development plan. Okay, and that was 2018-2023. Now, now on this time, on this time, the Pakistan country was working, whereas 2021-2005, on this day, China started to develop their nation, to make strategy in their plan. Okay, but whereas there is you can say to what India has been started, has been flowing, from starting. Okay, means from first 5 year plan. That is nice. That is nice. India and Pakistan adopted similar strategies such as creating a large public sector and raising public expenditure on social development. Both these countries adopted similar strategies. Similar strategies is what? To create a large public sector that should be created by a nation public sector, and public sector is compulsory. Public sector is that will be controlled by the government, whereas raising public expenditure means there is a compulsory to expand on public facilities to development of a society, to development of a social development. There will be compulsory. So here there should be involved what public sector to development, public sector, whereas public expenditure means to expand on public facilities. Okay, where public can go to travel, you can say, where public can go to travel, there should be no any type of a barrier, okay, by the government. Okay, there should not be barrier. If there will be barrier, then what will be then why will be made these public facilities, public material means public can use. Okay, public sector means public sector means our government will control, and according to need our government will think on public sector. What will be compulsory by the society, by the social development, this is responsible, there will be responsible who? Our government. Till the 1980s, on this time, all three countries had similar growth rates. On this time, similar growth. Okay, and per capita incomes almost there was similar. Okay. Reforms started in India in 1991, in China in 1978, and in Pakistan reform started in 1988. There was not similar. To understand the reforms, let's first compare the three economics till 1980s. Development studies of India. Now it's a time to understand in separate about development strategy of India, about development strategy of China, about development strategy of Pakistan countries. Okay, so here as you can understand what on this time, till this time growth regarding development, all the countries had similar, but after this time there was a difference in the regarding of, you can say, growth, and in the regarding of per capita income. According to need, there was reformed in India country, and you can say in Pakistan country, in China country, there was reformed. Okay, so reforms started in India on this time, in China on this time, and Pakistan in this time reform started. But whereas our topic now will be what to understand about this. Okay, about this. Through this we will understand what was similar growth till 98. So now first of all our headline is development strategy of India. India was a country that had a history of a collateral trade. Means you can say before independence of India, our India was a country. Okay. India that had a history of a closed trade. Means in regarding of cotton, our our India became what a exporter. In India there was made a lot of thing in the regarding of agriculture, and after sometimes by rule by other as you know by ruling of British people, there was destroyed by British people what trade of India country to use to dismiss use of uh, by dismiss by using dismiss of trade of India country. And there is a history of India trade, but let's see in this context what will we see in the next slide related to this. Now it's our duty, it's our will be it's our point to understand about the development strategy of India. uh, India was a country that had a history of closed trade. So from here till here, I hope we are clear. And here there is a special particular topic: what development strategy of India, about development, especially means particular development strategy of India. We will understand after completing this concept, this topic. We will move to next development strategy of China. Then after completing of development strategy of China country, then we will move Pakistan development strategy of Pakistan. So in India there was there was a unstable trade, you can say unstable trade. There was a history regarding trade in India. Now it's time to move next. The next slide. Okay, it's the next slide. Let's say in this slide, what will we people learn from this slide, from this topic? We were discussing in previous slide what about development strategy development of India, and this is continue. India was a country that had a closed trade in history. Okay, there was a critical challenge for India to make a new policy that could support the new open trade system, because as I told you in previous slide, what British rule had destroyed all system of trading of trade. Okay, system to trade. And then this was a work, you can say this was a task to leaders of India to make a new policy in which there would be involved what trade system in regarding development. And there was a critical challenge for India to make any policy that could support the new open trade system. Okay, and this was included in planning. Reduction in poverty. High poverty, people will die. People will be die. People will die. Oh, people will die. Poverty will kill two people. Who people is in the category of poverty. This type of people will be killed by poverty. So reduction in poverty, and there is mention in planning in 5-year plan. This was mentioned to reduce poverty, and gradual time to time our poverty decreased. but not at higher level. Our poverty in decreased. Okay, had decreased, but this was mentioned so that our poverty can reduce in upcoming time. And whenever policy new policy uh, will be made would be made, then there will be compulsory there would be compulsory to involve what reduction poverty. Okay, so that this will be this would be what point this would be point for a nation to reduce the poverty. Whereas one side we saw what about trade. Our British people had destroyed all system of trade, and that's why in the regarding of trade, this was a task for leader of India. Okay, then reduction in poverty, that is hazards for public of a people. So to reduce public to reduce poverty, there will be compulsory there will be important to involve in 5-year plan, which can be what which could be reduced by 5-year plan. There was made 5-year plan. Now government will work through this 5-year plan. In 5-year plan, there is a mention about reduction poverty. Our government will think to reduce poverty through elements, through resources. Our government will reduce poverty. Okay, through resources you can say, but this will be work for a government of a nation. That's why 5-year plan was made. That's why 5-year plan was announced by leaders of India in 1953. So that in this 5-year plan there will be goals for development of a nation. There will be elements, there will be mention point for a nation. As we are looking about a trade that is compulsory for a nation, for any nation, for each nation you can say that is compulsory. Okay, but whereas reduction in poverty, in each state, in each country, there is a compulsory to reduce poverty. If poverty will increase, then economy will decrease. Okay, economy of a nation will increase when poverty will increase. Then you can say growth of economy will decrease. Okay, this is not our problem, but our status situation of a public is important for a nation. Situation of a public should be better. Okay, if situation of a public should not be better, would not be better, then we can say our government is not working well through 5-year plan, you can say. Because as you know, work of duty of a government is to provide welfare. Okay, to provide welfare and to provide welfare to public, to people. Okay, that's why government come in power, come to power, come in power. Okay, we understood about reduction in poverty. So India has adopted several poverty alleviation idea for reduce, means whatever was possible, our government adopted, our government accepted whatever was possible to reduce poverty in our history time when this 5-year plan was continue. Okay, was continue, then as much as possible our government did it. So programs to reduce poverty in India. Several poverty alleviation. These helped in increasing per capita income and raising the nutrition level of the poor. As I told you, if poverty will will decrease, then economy you can say, GDP you can say, per capita you can say, this will be increased, this will increase, and that is best, that should be better. Okay, that would be better. And here economy is increasing, GDP is increasing, so we can see what something has improved among people, something has improved in India country, in any country, when economy had growth. Okay, so now our headline is rural development in a rural. Under this strategy, India adopted various measures for the development of areas that are lagging in the overall development of the village economy. Our village is lagging. Our village is lag. Okay, means if we talk about village, rural areas, there are lack of facilities. So why not a village will be lagging? Okay, so here this is compulsory to involve about development of rural areas. Okay, there will be important to involve in strategy development of India in 5-year plan, and there was mention about rural development, about urban development, but here we are looking about only rural development. Why? Because there is found what a lack of facilities most in rural areas as compared to urban areas. Okay, in urban areas there will be available facilities from which through resources we can create our skill, we can study, we can take access of education. Okay, so whereas in rural areas, in small areas, there is a possible to be available facilities that are in where in urban areas. So when our India leaders has adopted several poverty elevation, then this result gave us in increasing per capita income, and whereas in nutrition you can say in food security has improved among poor section. Development strategy of China. Now it's a time to understand strategy of China. We understood till here about strategy development of India. It's a time to understand strategy development of China. After the establishment of People's Republic of China, we know 1949, the Republic of the People's of Republic was established in 1949. Okay, the People's Republic of China. So after the establishment of People's Republic of China under one poverty rule, all the critical one poverty rule, there are ruled by one poverty rule. All the critical sectors of the economy, enterprises and lands owned and operated by individuals were brought under government control. Okay, whereas in India country they are controlled by the government, but public sectors where our government have the resources their own, then government can control to their resources, but not government can control private resources. Okay, so here we are looking what enterprises lands are owned by the one party. were bought under government control. In great proletarian cultural revolution in this time 1966 to 1976, students and professionals were sent to work and learn from the countryside. From the countryside. So this is revolution. This was revolution in this time. Students, professional, okay, from countryside was were sent to work, you can say, and to learn whatever students wants to make a career in their career, whatever professional professors want to work in their way. So through this revolution, this type of students, this type of professional could have gone from countryside, okay, from countryside. So this is revolution. That is nice, that is best. And 1978 reforms. 1978 reforms. Since 1978, China began to introduce many reforms in places. Means what reforms? Reforms to reforms. China began to introduce reforms, and that's why we can say. And here you are looking this revolution. This revolution made what more effective in work, you can say, in working. And since this time, China started what to introduce many reforms in places. The first set of reforms were entered in agriculture, in foreign trade, in investment sector. Reforms is compulsory. Reforms means what? Reforms means improvement. Okay. As you can say, in our village area there is not reform, there is not improvement. Okay, in village area, in small areas, in rural areas, there are not available, there are not facilities. So there is a work of a government, and also we can say here people of a village will be responsible. But first of all, primary is government. Government needed to pay attention on village, and you can say whereas what the in China countries, this revolution through this revolution from countryside, that is said village, that is said a small town, a small countries. Okay, so from countryside, this type of student, this type of professional were sent by this revolution, and this revolution gave what permission to go from countryside in other countries, you can say, in developed places. And after they completing the work of students, this student will have what skills. Okay, not completely students will have skills, but almost students would have skills. So here not only one reform were seen in China country since 1978. One by one, China had started to introduce many reforms. First of all, in agriculture, there is a primary. Our country is known as agriculture sector. So first of all, reform has reformed in agriculture, whereas in foreign trade, whereas in investment sector, that are major reform, that are major reform, as we studied in agriculture, in foreign trade, in investment sector. In agriculture, lands were divided into small plots, which were allotted to individual households. In agriculture, Okay. Now I think about this we will be understanding in the next slide. Uh, Agriculture were divided into small plots which were allotted to individual households. Households means you may whatever we person is living in our society. So whoever have agriculture according to their documents, agriculture was divided into a small plots by government of China. So I think it's a time to next to move. Okay, from here till here we are clear. Let's see what happens in the next slide. We will be discussing about strategy development of China. We had understood about strategy development of India. After completing this strategy development of China, we will be discussing about strategy development of Pakistan. Okay, I think after this complete will come about strategy development of Pakistan. Okay, so let's start. They were allowed to keep all income from the land after paying taxes. We were discussing what about strategy development of China. So here in agriculture reform there was reformed what agriculture was divided. Lands were divided into a small plots, and who can take this as cash. I'm talking about in area of China country. Okay, our one party one party government lands divided into a small plots, and this a small plots person who are able to take as a cash so can take. But whereas after this complete here person I am taking just example person who took one a small plot land. Now person will work on this land, you can say, in regarding of agriculture. So from land whatever will come output, this output will be of agriculture person who had taken this land. Okay, who have this land, so person uh, will be able to take output from their land, but tax of this land will be paid by this person to government of China country. And this rule was made also in our country. Whatever will come output from your agriculture land, this will be your output, but tax of any land will be paid by you to government. Tax in any sector there is a compulsory to pay to government, not only one sector. Okay, and similar in China. As we are looking, China says what output of your agriculture, your land, whatever will come, this output will be your, instead of taxes you will pay to government of your land. Okay, of your land. This is the similarities. So in a later phase reforms were entered, which means dead. reforms were did in the industrial sector. We are discussing what about reforms in agriculture, in industrial sector, and so on. Now we understood about reforms in agriculture sector. Reform lands were divided into small plots. Person who are able to take this land, this small plots as a cash. So now this person will work on agriculture, on land, on this land. Whatever will come outputs from this land, the outputs of this land from this land will be of this person who have this land. Okay, who have this land. So my point is output from this land will be of this person. Okay, person will be able to take output from their land instead of a tax. Here person needed to do one thing what in the regarding of paying taxes. Now this person will pay tax to government of their land. So this point we understood. Now reforms in industrial sector we are going to discuss. So in China country, in the context of a China country, in a later phase, reforms were entered which considered in the industrial sector. Okay, there are more mention point. There are more mention point, but till here we understood. Now it's so long about industrial sector, but just I think we needed to know what after the agriculture reform in industrial reform were entered dead. Okay, now it's a time to understand about development strategy of Pakistan. About strategy of development strategy of India we saw, and development strategy of China we saw. Now development strategy of Pakistan we are going to discuss. Pakistan follows a mixed economy, and also our country means our India country follows mixed economy. Not only capital economy, not only socialist economy. Both economy are followed by the India country. Also in Pakistan country you are looking what mixed economy are followed by Pakistan country. Pakistan follows a mixed economy system where both public and private sector coexist. So mixed, which means our public sector will come in a path, and whereas our private sector will come in a way. Okay, there will be importance of both. There will be more importance of both the sector, also public and also private. And here we are discussing about mixed economy, which means private and also public. Public sector are controlled by the government, whereas private sector are controlled by the private companies, individual companies. Okay, and here only private companies will pay tax. Okay, will pay tax only. This is work of private companies to pay tax to government. Okay, here their private sector will not be controlled by the government. This is mixed economy. Yeah, public sector, public materials will be controlled by the government. Okay, so here this is mixed economy where public sector will be, and whereas our private sector will be. Green revolution importance. When green revolution came in our country, then there was a seen more improvement in agriculture sector in our country. Whereas let's see if this green revolution came in Pakistan country, in China country, then let's study about green revolution in the context of Pakistan country and in the context of China country. So green revolution we are going to discuss. This was introduced to increase productivity. You can say to increase rapidly productivity and self-sufficiency in food. This is related to food. If green revolution will come, then food security among people will increase. Are you getting? In the context of food, there will not be faced by people in the context of food when the green revolution will come. And whereas our government, any government, make sure to build a buffer stock. Okay, a buffer stock. This was introduced to increase productivity and self. So green revolution will come, then our productivity in the context of food sector will increase when green revolution will come. This green revolution increased the output of food grains. That's why I was telling you what in food security, in food production, our food grains will increase. This changed. Green revolution changed the agrarian structure dramatically. Before coming green revolution in our country, I am talking. Okay. Before coming green revolution in our country, there was not a better status of agriculture sector. Better, I am using word better. There was not better in agriculture sector. When this came, then there were seen what dramatically. This was example to describe what how has in agriculture sector improved. Okay. First of all, when this green revolution will come, then this will increase productivity, and when this green revolution will come, then this will increase outputs of food grains. When the green revolution will come, then this green revolution will change the agrarian structure. During this period, Pakistan received financial support from West. Okay, during this period, Pakistan received financial support from West. This green revolution helped the country stimulate means increased economic growth. So wherever this green revolution came, this helped in financial support, you can say, and in agriculture sector, and also in economic growth. Okay, automatically will support this. This will support in economic growth, in agriculture sector, in financial support. Through this green revolution will be done more thing. The success of structural reforms in China are structural reforms. There were seen many reforms in China, and as we were discussing in back slide, reforms of China built the success of structural reforms. Okay, if China have succeeded, then because of reforms. Okay, reforms were reformed in China country. Built structure in the areas of education, health, land reforms. In this sector, reform were reformed in this sector. That's why we are looking what success in structure reforms of education, health and land reforms. There was an extension which means extended, which means expand. There was an extent of basic health services in rural areas. Today we see what lack of facilities in the regarding of hospital, in the regarding of medical care, in the regarding of quality education in rural areas. Whereas there were what reformed in rural areas in China country in the regarding of education, in the regarding of hospital, in the regarding of land reforms. Okay, that's why we are looking what is the success of better health service in rural areas. Common success of structural reforms in India and also in Pakistan. Now, it's a time to understand about this headline. Common success of structural reforms. There were same reforms in India too, also in Pakistan. Okay, so let's see what happened in the regarding of reforms in India and also in Pakistan. The common success of structural reforms in India and Pakistan have succeeded in more than doubling their capita incomes, despite the high growth rate of the population. Instead of the high growth rate of the population, the Pakistan country succeeded in per capita incomes. Okay, this happened double per capita income in Pakistan country, whereas instead of a high growth rate of a population. Whereas in country, if we talk about then our population growth is at high level. So let's see what are common success of structural reforms in India. Okay, I think from here till here we are clear. We have talked. So apart from this, whatever will come in the next slide, we will discuss with full concentration, with full focus, and whatever will come, let's see in details we will be discussing. This last slide, and I know you are happy to know what its last slide. We discussed a lot of word in this topic, and I hope we gain what knowledge from this chapter. So we are continuing on this topic, the incidents, and we were talking about common success of what structural reforms in India, in Bharat, in India and in Pakistan country. The incidence of poverty has also been reduced significantly, hardly. Okay, significantly, which means hardly. So incidence of poverty. This was reformed. In India country. What? In the regarding of reduction, poverty has been reduced significantly. Both countries have achieved. Both country means our India and Pakistan. Both countries have achieved self-sufficiency in the production of food. Means both countries today there are situation is different in category of food grains. In category of food grains, okay, there is a difference. But on this time, both countries, India and also Pakistan, have achieved sufficiency in food, in the production of food. Both countries have succeeded in developing their service and industry sectors at a fast rate. At a fast rate, both countries have succeeded, okay, in developing their service and in industries, in their industry sectors. In this matter, both countries have succeeded. Okay, means we can say what in industrial sectors and in providing service there was improvement, there was a seen improvement in this matter. That's why there is a said what reforms are reformed, reforms were reformed in India country and India Pakistan country in this matter, in this work. The use of modern technology is improving in both countries. Today, modern new technology comes, so our country and also any country accept new technology, that is said modern technology. When new technology is accepted by a nation, there there were there are seen what improvement in a nation when technology are used. Okay, new technology helps in any field. Okay, poverty and unemployment are still areas of major concern in both countries. Completely poverty did not remove completely poverty, whereas entirely unemployment were not seen as a remove, were not removed. And I think today we can see completely poverty are not in our country. Means today there are some people who are in poverty category. Okay, we can see gradual level there is reducing in poverty category. There is a reducing poverty through planning, you can say through Niti Ayog. There was being reduced poverty. Okay, so there are some reasons we can say what poverty is becoming at a higher level. Poverty is increasing because of some reason. Okay, especially about poverty video when will come, then we will discuss. Whereas unemployment, both these are relevant, you can say. Poverty, that is connection with unemployment that is connection with the poverty. Some will be connection. Okay, so unemployment is a common phenomena in our country and in each countries, and there are some reason to be unemployment. Okay, first of all, you can say peoples depend on government we can see, and today this is not a problem, but you can see situation of government we can see, whereas other side people are not creating their skill. Okay, for their skill. These are two reasons I told you. There are apart from this there are few reasons to be unemployment. Okay, so this both are still areas of major concern in both countries, in India country and in Pakistan country. That's all we understood.